Hi, Tamara. How's it going?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
I'm good, thank you. How's your school year so far?
It's going really well.
Yeah. Did you have a good week?
Yes, very good.
Anything new? Anything exciting?
Well, my kindergartners, I can tell that they're really doing well this school year with their trimester testing and mastering new concepts, and I can really see the growth, and I'm enjoying that.
Alrighty, so early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And what do you think is different than last year?
I think just pushing them more and knowing what's already at the end of the school year and getting them ready for it in the beginning.
So just feeling more prepared this year, better prepared for
And
it.
front-loading the information for them.
Okay. Do you feel you know the curriculum a little bit better, or
Definitely.
is it just yourself feeling a little more confident as a teacher?
I'm sure both.
Really good. How would you say? What would you say your goals are this year?
To get my kids to where they need to be in order to be prepared for first grade, to be more consistent with them and set high expectations.
Okay. And how well do you feel you know your students at this point of the year?
I feel like I know them really well.
Okay. Good. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at your class in general, take a closer look at the students and your student population, take a look at your parent population and how you communicate with your parents. Some we always need to communicate more with than others, and both positive and needs basis. We will also take a look at the school, make sure that you're comfortable and knowledgeable about who you need to contact if you ever need any resources or have any questions. And we'll also kind of take a look at the district in general to see where the district's moving and how that affects you in your classroom.
Okay.
Okay, sound great? Alrighty, so the first part that we're going to look at is how well you know your classroom and getting to know a little bit more about you yourself and your classroom in general. Okay? So the first one in the KWOL chart is what I know about my professional practice. So looking there, I see that you feel that you do have a safe and engaging learning environment. I know as a district, engagement in the classroom, student engagement is key, and that is something that we as teachers want to be able to work on and further develop to be sure that our kids are engaged and that they develop a love for learning and they are grasping your instruction. Okay. I see that you also said you want to make learning fun, and especially in kindergarten, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
For many of your students, it's the first year of learning, the first year in the classroom, the first year at school. And so it's key because you're the start to a long road. Okay? So how would you say that you feel? What else might you want to add to what you feel about your professional practice at this point?
Well, I know that I definitely made the rules very clear to them, and they understand them very well. If they're not on their best behavior, then they're not learning. So I think that's very important because if there's behavior problems, they're not going to learn.
Absolutely. Classroom management is key, especially for brand new teachers. And you'll see over the years, it gets easier and easier. You mentioned using different strategies for your classroom management. What kind of strategies are you incorporating this year?
Well, I'm using a lot of pictures because that definitely helps them. A lot of repetition, so going through like the sight words and their letters and teaching them new songs. Pretty much everything that we do is a song, and they really love it. They love singing.
So pretty vocal.
They are. Even when I don't ask them, they start singing.
That's too cute. Alrighty. Well, let's take a look at your classroom.
Okay.
How many students do you have this year?
I have 29 right now.
29. And the maximum number of students you can have
is 31.
31.
So I have room for 2 more.
Now, how many English learners do you have?
I have 10.
Okay, 10 English learners. So almost 10% of your class. And what would you say their levels are?
Their levels are,
Let's take a look. You have those noted
they range
here.
from a 1 to a 3.
Okay.
Mostly 2s and 3s. I
Are
have
you-
3 1s, 4 3s, and 3 2s. So they range from beginner to intermediate. So all my students get pulled throughout the week for bilingual time with the bilingual aid, and they also get ELD every day,
Okay. And how much time do you spend on ELD?
30 minutes a day.
And here are your English learners.
Right.
And we see that you have a range of beginners through intermediates. So looking at these English learners and their scores, you have your listening, there's subcategories. You have listening, speaking, reading, writing, and comprehension and overall scores. What would you say your greatest need might be as far as the subcomponents there?
Well, looking at it, it looks like it's mostly reading.
Okay.
Are usually mostly the lower scores,
Okay.
which is hard for them because they're only kindergarten.
Right. Although, so definitely a focus for English learners is to begin with their phonics,
Right.
their letter sounds, to improve on their reading here. Now, looking at student number 11, he scored a 286 in reading, and then you also have student 12. So just kind of keeping an eye on these students will really be beneficial in focusing more on the reading
Right.
during ELD time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else do you think you might notice here that might be a definite need for your English learners?
Definitely the writing also. The
Okay.
writing looks lower than most of the rest of the scores.
Okay, so tying into your teaching standards, what else could you do to incorporate writing?
So just integrating writing with the ELD, so coming up with maybe words that are parts of stories and using them to write sentences and things like that.
Okay. Now, do you feel that there's any students here which scores might reflect differently than what you observe in the classroom?
No, I think they're pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate. Good.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, do you feel that is everything okay with your ELD? Do you need any further assistance?
No, we recently had a training, so
Okay, now let's go back to our KWL chart and look at what you want to know. Because you know that I will be returning, we'll take a look at what your needs are as a teacher, what your strengths are as a teacher, and then we'll do a classroom observation.